Yes, it started in February of 1971. I was teaching school, elementary school, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. I was teaching young children who were actually having a very difficult time in school. And they sent me the most difficult students from all over the school district. And I worked with those children. It was called EH, for Educationally Handicapped Children. And I'd been teaching already for about 8 years. And I was having some difficulty in my personal relationship. And I decided at some point
that we should have some cup of coffee. Yeah, just go ahead and put it here.
Yeah, okay.
This is a part of the experience now.
Dankeschön. This can be part of the whole thing. This is the westernized version of the Japanese tea ceremony.
Okay.
So, I was having some difficulty in my personal relationship, and I decided to take a few days off and go to the desert. And I called a good friend of mine who we had been best friends in high school, and he and his girlfriend and I went out to the Mojave Desert. And while we were out there, I was sitting alone on this mountain peak, and they had hiked off to another area. And I was contemplating about my life. I was thinking about how could I mess up my life at such a young age. I was 26 years old and feeling like I had got myself once again into a situation where I felt very confined, restricted. And my whole thing, I think all my life, has been about freedom, liberation, breaking out of constricted places. And I still find myself doing that. And I was sitting there, and I had my first awakening, or first opening experience, where I became one with the universe, one with the cosmos, where the self, myself, the I, dropped away, and I just experienced this unity consciousness, or oneness consciousness. And I had never heard about it, I'd never read anything about it, I'd never experienced anything like that before, and hadn't even been a spiritual seeker. In fact, I was an athlete. I had spent most of my life as a swimmer and water polo player.
Okay.
I'd been on teams that we won the national championships in America, in both college and AAU. I had been to Israel, where I had played water polo in the Maccabean Games, and we'd gotten a gold medal. I had been on the team that later, in '68, actually went to the Mexico Olympics and tied for first and got the silver medal. And that would have been my life until the age of 24, 25. And here at 26, I had this experience that was, I guess you could call a spiritual awakening. And that experience got me into a meditation practice that moment. I found myself meditating, and a very strong desire to help others have such an experience, to awaken, because it was a reality that I had never, ever dreamt possible. It was like I had been going in a specific direction, full throttle, like a locomotive, just going, you know. In the sense of athletics and education, I'd got my master's at the University of Southern California. And all of a sudden, what became really important to me was helping others experience this reality that was so different than any reality I'd ever experienced before. Everything made absolute sense. Everything was so simple, and there was not the fragmentation that we experience all the time. There wasn't the mind chatter. The mind had become absolutely silent, still, and in that experience I became one with the universe, one with God, one with reality, truth, whatever we want to say. It's what Eckhart Tolle calls right now presence. I was completely in the here and now, and all the mind of thinking of the past and worrying about the future was all gone, just fallen away. And it was so revolutionary for me that it became my life's work to go deeper, clarify this experience more, and to really serve others. So I then quit my job. I gave notice. I said in June, this was February, I said in June I'm going to leave my teaching career, and I headed off into the mountains. And I spent a good part of the next year, 3 months of the year, hitchhiking around the United States and Canada. And then I spent about 9 or 10 months in a mountain cabin alone, living as a hermit and sitting in meditation, what we call zazen, for 4 or 5 hours a day. And obviously I had to chop wood and carry water because there was no fireplace, there was no heating system. It was just a very rustic cabin with no insulation, and there was no running water, but there were 2 streams not too far away on the property. So I would carry water and chop wood every day.